time for Ringside Season 10. I probably couldn't hear me. Because it's time for Ringside. Got a bunch of news lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, we're just going to jump straight into it. WWE made it clear to Mercedes Moné in early discussions that they'd love to have her back, per PW Insider. A WWE source told Insider they're confident Mercedes Moné will return to the company, with the caveat that nothing's official until a deal is signed. In response to that report, one of PW Insider's AEW sources reached out to say they're negotiating with Moné and told the site, quote, "If you don't think we are in the hunt, you are crazy." So I talked about this on my podcast. I don't understand why Mercedes Moné made such the hoopla to go to WWE if they were going to have a negotiation and then the negotiation fell through. And then, okay, she was going to go to WWE, negotiation fell through. Now she's going to AEW. Like, if you weren't going to go to WWE before, right, if the whole hoopla with WWE and the price and all that yada yada, right, it wasn't going to end up happening. Now you're going to AEW. What's going to bring you back to WWE? What is WWE going to bring? What new thing is WWE going to slap on the table and say, we have this now? What is it going to be? Because if it wasn't going to be the money, because obviously the money thing obviously did not work out. So now what is it going to be? And with that being said, right, now I need you to understand, money. She wanted money. She wanted more than what Charlotte Flair was getting. Obviously, that did not end up happening, so that negotiation fell through. Now she's going to AEW. Is AEW giving her that money? Where's AEW getting the money from? Now, I said this before, I'm not their financial advisor, I'm not their accountant, I don't know how much money they have. Let's assume that they have the money to be giving to Mercedes Moné. Are they giving her the exact same amount that she asked for in WWE? What is that going to do with the rest of the AEW women's locker room who are more than likely not getting paid that much? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of, what's the word? There's a lot of intangibles. Do you know what I'm trying to say here? There's a lot of confusing variables and factors and things that I feel as though are not being said and mentioned in this entire ordeal that are very confusing to me personally. And I'm very perplexed about the whole thing. What is being said to Mercedes? What's not being said? What is being thrown at Mercedes? What's not being thrown at Mercedes? I'm very, very confused at what AEW is giving Mercedes and what WWE is not giving Mercedes and what Mercedes is asking for in terms of WWE and AEW. He's got a point. Nothing's final until it's final. So maybe WWE will, like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where he's like, oh, my shadow card or whatever, I don't know. Like, maybe something like that's kind of, I honestly don't know. So we're going to have to wait and see what's going to end up happening here, because it sounds like she's just sort of playing the field. It doesn't sound like she's going anywhere in particular, so I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm not even trying to be funny. I genuinely don't know. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Sticking with Insider, they also heard that Trinity is headed back to WWE, with a source telling them she'll finish up with Impact/TNA at their January 19th and 20th tapings on Orlando. So I also talked about that. I mentioned that it's because she's the current Knockouts women. She's the current man, right? It's Knockouts, not Knockout. She's the current Knockouts women's champion right now, and she is facing Jordynne Grace at Hard to Kill. And I presumed that, you know, she could drop the title to Jordynne Grace. It's the 19th and 20th, so I assume, wait, 19? Okay, never mind, I'm an idiot, because, the Hard to Kill pay-per-view is on the 13th. So, okay, yeah, so pretty much the same thing. She's gonna go, drop the title, maybe, like, finish up a couple obligations, couple storylines, that sort of thing, and then she's gonna make her way to WWE. She's not gonna drop the title, and then, like, pull out like a black spot and then just jump through it and then just go to WWE. I doubt that that's going to happen. So she's more than likely, you know, again, finish up whatever she's got going on at TNA and then head over to WWE. Can't wait to see her show up, you know, and I'm looking forward to see what they have for her. Moving over to AEW, the Wrestling Observer newsletter notes that MJF was told he could be out for, quote, close to a year if he has shoulder surgery. MJF wants to avoid that, so he is, quote, hoping to have it heal through rehab rather than surgery. I have nothing against rehab. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have rehab. My argument is the same argument that I had before. If you're, I don't know, I feel like he should get surgery. I feel like surgery would be better. I know rehab is obviously going to be better. Wouldn't it take longer? Would it not take longer? Am I an idiot? Would rehab know take longer? Because you got to go back and forth, and you got to do all the exercises and the lifting and the pulling and all that sort of stuff. Would surgery not be better? I mean, I get it. I know surgery, and then you gotta, with the muscle, and then re-work out the muscle and game shape and competitive shape and all that. Why does it fit? I don't know why rehab feels like it would take longer, but I guess the surgery would be longer. But I don't know. There's a piece of me that just wants the surgery because you want the shoulder to definitively be 100%. And I know rehab would also do the same thing. And honestly, I feel like rehab would be better just because, you're working the muscle and you don't really have to worry about not moving. Because, I assume that's what you would have to do once you get surgery. You can't move the shoulder. Well, you have to move it. But, you get the point. You can't move it too much. You want the muscle to heal and then you got to rework the muscle and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I feel like the shoulder surgery would be better in the long run just because everything would be healed a lot better, when your muscles would be, better, in the future going forward. But listen, and I completely understand MJF's argument, 100%. You don't want to be out for that long. You don't want to miss that much wrestling. That's a lot of time that you're going to be out of the squared circle. I completely understand. I'm thinking more in terms of safety and overall, like posterity. Just overall, I don't have to worry about this shoulder anymore. The shoulder's not going to give me any more problems, But then that's implying that the physical therapy and the rehab and all that are not going to do the job that surgery is going to do. And I don't want to say that. I'm just saying that surgery just sounds like more of a sure thing. But that's just my personal opinion. It's all up to MJF. And if MJF wants to get rehab, that's perfectly fine with him. I'm sure rehab is going to do the exact same thing, if not better. Listen, the point of all of this is that I would love for him to make a speedy recovery and for him to be back sooner rather than later. And if rehab is going to do that, then fine. I don't mind that you go with rehab. Next, The Observer says the real reason why WWE canceled the NXT Championship match at New Year's Eve is because Ilya Dragunov, quote, was worn down and the feeling was he needed a little bit of a break, so they held the match off. I have no problem with that. It didn't affect the storyline at all. If anything, it kind of prolonged in a good way the Trick Williams is Carmelo Hayes traitor storyline, So I see nothing wrong with that. If anything, I'm an advocate for that. I love that we are now finally in the era of wrestling where if you're hurt or you're banged up or you're bruised or anything like that, fine. Don't even worry about it. They stopped the match with Giovanni. He took a nasty bump and he obviously was out of it during the match, and they didn't even bother continuing it, They didn't go on with any other spots. They stopped the match right there, gave the match to, Kofi and Jay, and they just left it alone. I love that is what we are doing. We are not doing the thing anymore where we are fighting through the pain and all this crazy nonsense again with the whole Ibushi thing. That shouldn't even have been a thing. I wish they'd have stopped that match before that got any worse. I'm so glad that we're not in that era anymore and the wrestlers are being looked after and their bodies are being tended to. That's why I'm saying I'd rather MJF go with the surgery, but that's neither here nor there. Ia, I'm glad that he's, taking some time off and he's resting. He's been through a lot of grueling matches last year, so if anything, more power to him. I'd rather he be back 100% rather than him coming back with a couple bruises and scratches and all that stuff. So listen, may we see him back sooner rather, I'm certain we're going to see him back sooner rather than later, but you know what I mean, I'd rather him be back at 100% is all I'm trying to say. Finally, Pro Wrestling Observer Newsletter, WWE is, quote, looking at Japanese allies going forward, and, quote, looking for a women's group ally as well. There's also, quote, been talk internally of them trying to make another go with New Japan now that Hiroshi Tanahashi is president. Is this thing on? Hello? I am all for this 110,000 million %. This is exactly what I'm talking about, okay? They are trying to work with Stardom right now. They're trying to get Julia on the roster. I think they're also, Camille's not part of New Japan, but you know what I'm trying to say? WWE's cooking right now, ladies and gentlemen. WWE's in the kitchen. They got the spoons and the pots and pans and what have you, and I am all for this, okay? I'm waiting on my dining room table with my bib and my silverware. I am so ready for WWE to to make an effort to try and collaborate. I don't want to make it seem like it's something that is 110,000,000% going to happen, because we don't 100% know what could be in the cards in the near future. The negotiation could fall through. We don't 100% know, all right? But I am all for this. I'm incredibly excited. I would love to see what they're going to try and do. I would love to see the pay-per-views and the promos and the Forbidden Door collaborations. I am so excited and I'm so for this. Shouts out to Hiroshi Tanahashi, because I highly doubt that he is going to shut the door and not be willing to work with AEW or MLW or TNA or anything like that. I'm so ready for WWE and TNA and all other types of wrestling promotions to finally hold hands and collaborate and make a chain link of all types of wrestling promotions and pay-per-views and storylines. I'm so here for this. I can't wait for it. I don't even know what else to say just because of how overly excited I am. I don't want to make it seem like, so again, I talk as though it is 100% guaranteed. Nothing is finalized, okay? This is something that we need to understand right now. Nothing is finalized, all right? Let's well, I should calm down, all right? Let's relax, all right? We need to wait and make sure that everything is penned and signed and finalized and all that sort of stuff. I gotta make sure that the book is 100% closed before we truly say anything. But in the same breath, I'll tell you this. There's no way that they're not going to do it. You're telling me you're going to turn down a lucrative opportunity like that? You're crazy. You're out of your mind, all right? So, as much as I would like to sit here and tell you, don't assume anything, also, keep your eyes peeled and keep your ear to the streets, because I can guarantee you that this is something that they are not going to squander and they are not going to let slip through their fingers within the near future. So look out for that, all right? I'm very excited. What do we talk about? All right, so Mercedes is, I guess, still talking to WWE, but it sounds like she's talking more to AEW right now, but WWE make it seem like there's a potential chance that she could show back up with WWE in the near future. So I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Okay, yeah, so Trinity's headed back to WWE. That seems like a more of a for show ride on, so we're gonna have to wait and see when she ends up showing back up, because, again, like I said, she's finishing up her obligations. Hard to Kill's on the 13th, she's finishing up on the 19th and the 20th, so I assume, around that time, she's gonna be like, hey, loved it here, gonna get the heck out of here. We're gonna have to wait and see what ends up happening with that. I personally would like MJF to get surgery, just because I would like his shoulder to be 100%. But if rehab is also going to do the same thing, then I have absolutely no problem with him getting rehab. I just want him to be good, man. That's all. I just want him to be 100%. All right. So WWE canceled the NXT Championship match at New Year's Eve because Dragunov was worn down. Fine, nothing wrong with that. No quarrels, issues whatsoever. Take as much time as you need off. Okay, don't kill yourself for the craft. We don't need to do that anymore. We're out of that era. Okay, we're done with that. All right. So if you gotta take some time off, take some time off. Okay. And WWE is looking at Japanese allies going forward, and a women's group ally as well. And I'm excited for this. I can't wait to see what they have in store. I don't want to talk as though it is 100% guaranteed, because we don't 100% know going forward. We can't see into the future. Anything could happen. But at the same time, don't just completely write it off. Again, keep your ear to the streets. Keep your eyes peeled. I doubt Hiroshi Tanahashi and Nick Khan and everybody going forward is just going to look a gift horse in the mouth. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, all right? I am 100% looking forward to this. I can't wait to see what they could potentially do. And again, I'm excited. Folks, that's going to do it for Season 10, Episode 1, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.